IAHCSMM CRCST exam. When loading a steam sterilizer, items with solid bottoms should be placed on edge. The physical method by which an ultrasonic unit's clean is called cavitation. Detergent. What is the preferred pH for detergents used for most cleaning processes? Bluish or rainbow type stains are caused by in water. Iron and silicates. Each year, approximately patients develop a healthcare associated infection. 2 million. The term excise means to cut out. The most efficient type of dry heat sterilizer is the mechanical convection sterilizer. The spore used in the testing of steam sterilization is Geobacillus stearothermophilus. Heat-sensitive items. The nurse is aware that the use of ethylene oxide gas is reserved for the sterilization of damaged light fibers. Pasteurizers disinfect using tests which use live bacterial spores to challenge the efficacy of the sterilization process and provide a direct measure of lethality are called biological test. Spiral-shaped bacteria are classified as Spirillum. Equipment should be inspected for obvious hazards such as cracked or frayed electrical cords. Whenever the equipment is cleaned. Blue stain on a scope, what is the reason? Improper cleaning. These chemicals are used on animate, living tissue, to slow the growth of microorganisms. Antiseptics. These carry blood away from the heart. Arteries. Aluminum items should be cleaned. Using a to and fro motion with the grain. Air exchanges in Ito sterilizer room. 10 per hour. A succession of progressively more responsible professional positions that serves as the foundation of a professional development plan. Career ladder. Creation of a new blood supply to an area of the heart with a clotted/blocked artery. CABG, coronary artery bypass graft. 8 hours at 140 F or 12 hours at 122 F. The desired solution for cleaning instruments is PEXIAs. Surgical fixation. A unit of measure that measures the amount of resistance to an electrical current. Ohm. The FDA classifies sterilization packaging as a Class LL medical device. ISO 9000. An international standard used by participating organizations to help assure that they consistently deliver quality services and products. Body balance is regulated by fluid in the inner ear. Third-party reprocessors are regulated by the FDA. True. Softened water. Decreases the likelihood of mineral scale deposits. What would be the recommended exposure time for a dry heat sterilization load that was run at an exposure temperature of 320 degrees F? 2 hours. Deionized water is used for sterile irrigation. The percentage of hospital patients that develop a healthcare facility-associated infection. Approximately 10%. Instruments washers sterilizers provide. Official inventory. Which of the following tracking methods provides real-time information? RFID. Increase the steam pressure. The system used to categorize patient care items based on the degree of risk of infection, 7.2 pounds per cubic foot. Maximum density for linen packs. Agency responsible for the MedWatch program. FDA Food and Drug Administration. Automatic washers clean using a spray force action called impingement. True. Exchange cart system. The inventory system that uses two identical carts to facilitate supply replenishment is called the information regarding cleaning processes for endoscopes should be provided by the instrument manufacturer. During instruments manufacture, the process of passivation helps build a protective chromium oxide layer on each instrument's surface. True. Allows for visual inspection of the upper digestive tract. Gastroscope. Typically 1 minute of drying time programmed into flash cycles removes steam from chamber but doesn't dry device completely. Drying phase of steam sterilization. Pre-vacuum steam sterilizer and steam flush pressure pulse, SFPP. Use an active air removal system. Test which use live bacterial spores to challenge the efficacy of the sterilization process and provide a direct measure of lethality are called. In order to elevate the temperature in a steam sterilizer, you must. Scissors with tungsten carbide cutting edges are usually identified by gold handles. The decontamination area of the Central Service Department should have 10 air exchanges per hour. A liquid oxidizing agent that is an effective biocide at low temperatures. It is used in a sterilization system that processes immersible instruments for immediate use. Peracetic acid, PA. Secondary containers of chemicals. Must be labeled with a copy of the original manufacturer's label or a generic label that identifies hazard warnings and directions. Water purification usually involves the use of a pre- and post-filter. A material that removes electrons from another substance is called an oxidizing agent. A voluntary international organization dedicated to the prevention and control of infections and related outcomes. APIC. Powered surgical instruments should be cleaned using a mechanical cleaning process. False, they should all be cleaned manually. Spalding classification system. Dark areas on the lens of an endoscope are. Central service technicians must be able to identify approximately 100 of instruments. True. Heated water. Minimum recommendations for ETO aeration. Neutral pH. Which of the following is an example of regulated medical waste? Creates and revises standards for processing water for irrigation. USPNF, the United States Pharmacopoeia National Formulary. In this system, items are owned by the vendor, but stored at the healthcare facility. Consignment. Develops recommended standards, practices, and guidelines for care and processing of devices. AAMI. The largest operating channel of an endoscope is the ____ channel. Instrument. In a sterilization load containing two small basins, the chemicals indicators will be positioned on the top of the basins. An iodophore is N. Buffered iodine. The two most common techniques of flat wrap packaging are square fold and envelope fold. Phenolics are classified as intermediate to low-level disinfectants. Autoclave sterilizer is a ____ class of device. Class. Cellulosic materials, paper, cotton and linen, cannot be processed in A/N. Hydrogen peroxide gas plasma sterilizer. Wicking materials are used to allow air removal, steam penetration, and facilitate drying. Modern powered surgical instruments are immersive. True or false? False. Impregnated gauze strips may be sterilized using dry heat sterilization. The term superheated steam means dry steam. The amount of time it takes to kill 90% of the microorganisms present on an object is called D-value. The part of the digestive system where the greatest absorption of nutrients into body cells takes place. Small intestines. ________ are often pathogenic to humans because they grow best at body temperature. Mesophils. If an equipment malfunction causes harm to patients, it should be returned immediately to the biomedical department. In central service, the concept of one-way flow of materials refers to the movement of products from soiled areas to clean processing areas within central service. Paper/plastic sterilization pouches should not be placed inside of wrapped sets or containers. Implantable devices should not be flash sterilized. Water that is turbid is cloudy. Award given by the American Nurses Credentialing Center to hospitals that satisfy factors that measure the strength and quality of nursing care, viewed as one of the highest achievement a hospital can obtain. Magnet status. Two most common temperatures used in steam sterilization are 250 and 270 to 275. Package condensation will occur when placing hot or warm packages in cold surfaces. To prevent coagulation of proteins, water temperature should be below 43 C, 110 F. Behavior relating to what is right and wrong relative to the standards of conduct for your profession are called ethical behavior. This unit pumps heated or cooled water through a coiled pad to therapeutically raise or lower the body temperature. Hypothermia unit. Blood-soaked sponges. The moisture content of saturated steam should possess a relative humidity of solution used to remove the white, hard-to-remove substance that sometimes appears on sinks and equipment. Descaler. A molecular reaction that creates an uncontrolled release of energy is called polymerization. Agency responsible for regulating EO. OSHA and EPA. Which of the following is the most popular title for the Central Service Department head? Director. Bowie-Dick test should be run in dynamic air removal steam sterilizers. Horizontal work surfaces in the decontamination area should be cleaned and disinfected at the beginning and end of each shift. Some plastics, including formulations of spun-bonded polyolefin, are intended for use solely in these sterilization processes. Low temperature. Bacilluses. Rod-shaped bacteria. Disadvantages to a case cart distribution system. A lag time between usage and replenishment. Which of the following is not an acceptable form of instrument marking? Electric etching, engraving. Can be counted as an asset on the facility's balance sheet. The inventory system that stocks supplies by established levels is called